Today we're going to make some yummy chicken noodle soup. So to start out with, you're going to need 2 stalks of celery, 1 medium onion, and about 3 medium-sized carrots. Now, I didn't have all of my carrots were not medium-sized, so I just went ahead and grabbed, what I thought would be about the equivalent of 3 medium-sized carrots. So one of y'all taught me that little trick with the paper towel. If you have one of these cutting boards that likes to slide all over the counter, just wet a paper towel and put it down under your cutting board, and your cutting board won't go anywhere. Y'all, that's the easiest thing. I wish I could remember which one of y'all said it, but you know who you are, and just know that it is much appreciated that I am not chasing this cutting board all over the counter. So you're going to go ahead and just cut your celery up into bite-sized pieces, and I like to cut mine like down the middle and then, and then chop it, because I don't like huge hunks of celery in my soup, and I also don't like huge hunks of carrots in my soup. So I went ahead and peeled my carrots up, and I'm just cutting. Y'all, I can't talk. I'm cutting off the ends, and then I'm just gonna slice these pretty thin. And the bigger ones, I should have probably cut those, in half long ways and then cut them, but it still turned out fine. So you're gonna try to chop these into small or at least thin little pieces of carrot, and that way they'll cook down, in the same time that it takes your other vegetables to cook down. And then we're just gonna go ahead and dice up this onion. And if you want more onion, you could absolutely use more. I mean, y'all know I love my onion, and I really could have gone for a little more onion, but this is what we did. So once your vegetables are all diced up and ready to go, you're gonna add a little bit of olive oil to your Dutch oven or whatever pan you're cooking your soup in. And then you're just gonna add all your vegetables right over into your pan. And we're gonna go ahead and cook these for about 10 or 15 minutes until they get kind of soft. About halfway through, I went ahead and added in about a tablespoon of minced garlic. Now, you can certainly use fresh garlic, or if you don't have fresh or minced, you can use a little garlic powder if you want to. So I just cooked this around for another few minutes until, my garlic was cooked in there a little bit. And then once you get your vegetables where you want them, you go ahead and add 2 of these 32-ounce containers of chicken broth. Now, I like to use the low sodium when I can, get my hands on it, because that way I can kind of control the amount of salt that goes into things. And if you use the full salt, you're going to get whatever you get. But if you use the lower sodium, then you can kind of adjust the salt, more to your taste. So anyway, that's my reasoning behind that, y'all. So go ahead and add your broth in, and then I added just a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and about a teaspoon or so of Italian seasoning, and just mix that around. And then we're gonna add in our chicken. Now, I used some chicken that I had cooked a few days before. I cooked it in my crock pot. I just like to trim and season up a whole bunch of chicken breasts, and I just let them cook for a few hours in the crock pot, and then they just shred up easy. And then I put them in containers and freeze them, and that way I have shredded chicken, whenever I need it. I don't necessarily have to, cook my chicken. So that's why there wasn't a lot of seasoning added to this soup, because my chicken, I had already seasoned it up, with salt, pepper, garlic, onion, and all that. And I didn't want to overdo it. So go ahead and just add your chicken. And like I said, you can do a rotisserie chicken. You can do, if you don't like the shredded chicken, you could chop, cut yours up into cubes and cook it that way and add it. However you want your chicken, it'll be fine. So you're just gonna add your chicken, let it come to a boil. Once it starts boiling good, you're gonna pour in 2 cups of egg noodles. And I think these are just like wide egg noodles. So just a couple of cups. You don't need the whole bag, or you would have, way more noodle than soup. So you're just gonna cook this, and I think it took maybe about 8 minutes or so to get my noodles cooked. And that's it, y'all. This soup is so easy. Like, the whole thing, start to finish, you can get done in like 30 minutes. Now, if you wanted to cook it a little bit longer, you certainly could, but I would recommend just cooking it without the noodles if you want to cook it a little longer, because if you overcook those noodles, you're going to end up with just a whole bunch of mushy noodles. So that's it, y'all. That's all there is to this homemade chicken noodle soup, and it is so good. And of course, well, most of y'all know that it's just me here because my kids are grown and out on their own. So when I make something like this, I like to take these containers and like portion it out, and then I can put those in the freezer. And then whenever I want chicken noodle soup, I don't have to go through, the whole cooking it all. I can just pull it out of the freezer and eat it. And of course, y'all know I made me a bowl to eat that day. So this is our yummy homemade chicken noodle soup, y'all. It is so good. It is perfect for a rainy day, or maybe you don't feel too well and you just want the comfort of some chicken noodle soup. This soup is perfect for that. So I'm going to go ahead and pop y'all another video right up here, and go ahead and check that one out too. And I will see y'all next time. Bye, y'all.